last time we have discussed about that is this concept of talent acquisition and management. It has been changed right from that how the personal management to the HR management and HR management to the talent management, that we have discussed in our previous session. Now, in this session we will talk with the what is the talent management is, exactly the theoretical definition of talent management. So, the talent management is a set of processes that allows a company to increase the value provided by their human capital. And what is the human capital? As I mentioned, that is, the human capital is a part, intellectual capital is having three parts: organizational capital, the human capital and the structural capital. So, therefore, in that case this human capital is those employees, those who are having the high potential and high performance stars. So, they are providing, in the book of the Wendy Ruth also it has been mentioned, that is how do you get, how do you use, how do you learn, how do you share and how you deliver, get the output. So, these steps are very important. So, your contribution, the way of the contribution the employees does to an organization, that creates the human capital. Now, in this talent management, key processes in the talent management is the goal alignment. It is very important to understand the organization culture and organization's goal, the vision statement of the organization, because once you understand the culture, then it will become very easy for you, that is how to behave. Last time I have given the example of the daughter-in-law. So, when she enters and then she understands the goal, the vision statement of mother-in-law, that is what is expected from me here, and she aligns that flexibility and sustainability is required. So, similarly then employee is having its own goal. Normally what is the goal? The talented people, employees, is the goal is the satisfaction, because when you will have the when the talented people will have that satisfaction, it means that money, position, status, right, all will automatically will be the byproducts, because they will get satisfied only with the higher positions, higher responsibilities, higher empowerment. And when they are having the high positions, high responsibility and high empowerment, then definitely in that case they will have their own vision and mission statement aligned with the organizational statement, because the vision or the mission statement of the organization is to develop an image in the society with the satisfied ROI, return on investment, and creating a social image. Business is a social entity, and therefore, the talented people, their goal and organizational goal, that alignment is called, that is a goal alignment is important. Now, in this process, the selection process is very important, candidate selection. How do you select that employee? Now, again I will like to give that example from the family management, that is the selection of the daughter-in-law. How do you select that daughter-in-law? If you are going by the matrimony.com and then you are not having the full information, you are not aware about the culture, but whatever information is provided to you, you take the decision on that, and then there is a risk. I will not say that is the wrong procedure, but there the risk is high. So, what is important? Important is that candidate selection has to be done methodically. What is that methodically? It is not that just you are giving the advertisement, you are just asking to apply, you are taking the interview and you are selecting the candidate. No, nowadays you will find that there are the 7 layers interviews. 7 layers interview means that is that employee has to interact with the clients, employee has to interact with the technical team, and employee has to interact with the HR team, employee has to interact with the chairman, employee has to interact with the other stakeholders in the market, and from all people the feedback will come, and that will tell how is this potential employee. So, it is not just by one source, you are collecting the information, whatever information is provided you accept, and you go. No, that is not the right way. So, therefore, in that case it becomes a very important talent management process, that is how you are identifying the talent. We will be having the different case studies also, and in these case studies you will find that is the normally they are having the psychometric test, they are having the group activity, they are nowadays they are focusing on your social media, who are your friends, what they are doing, what are your comments, what are your friends comments, what are your friends Facebook page, what are your LinkedIn connections, how are your tweets, how you express your emotions in the tweets. All these things will be taken into consideration at the time of candidate selection, and then it will be decided that is the candidate is to be called for interview or not. Performance management. Last time also in the session 1 I have talked about that performance management. Performance management has to include the potential management. Next part is the employee development. Like you see that learning and development is becoming very important. So, this is like we have seen this COVID-19 time, and in the COVID-19 time we see that is a work from home, the job is to be done, people are maybe under the stress, they are in the different mindset, they have to perform, there are so many social issues, economic issues, and under this socio-economic issue condition environment, they have to deliver, they have to do best under their psychological stress, right. So, therefore, if you want to develop your employees, they should be able to manage the stress, because you know the relationship between the stress and the performance. So, you have to create that eustress point. When you create that eustress point, then only you will be able to create that particular, this is the situation and this is the eustress point. So, therefore, when we are talking about that is a performance management, here is the performance, here is the stress, right, and then you are extending these stress with the maximum performance here. But if you increase the stress more than this, then there is a declining of the performance. Now, question arises, how to identify this eustress? To identify this eustress, there are many stress measurement scales, and those when like this Stephen P. Robbins book and all, they have given the stress management scales are there. Otherwise, also you will find in the reputed journal the papers are published with that is the stress management, stress identification, stress level identification, and when you identify that stress, psychometric test, and then you can say that is this person, either his diagram will be like this, or this diagram will be like this, or this diagram will be like this, right. So, therefore, this person is coming immediately under stress, after little performance it is the stress and the performance is going down, बहुत जल्दी टेंशन में आ जाते हैं भाई साहब. So, therefore, in that case this is going down, here it is a moderate and it is the high. So, this stress bearing capacity is there. So, a talented person, he is able to manage his stress. If it is a true talent, so he understands that is he can bear the stress, this human brain can bear the tremendous stress, the one understands. But if the one lose the confidence, even if we will tell, oh, you can be a great man, and he is having the strong belief, I can never be. So, that will be the stress. So, here it is becoming very important, that is how you are going to concern with the performance management converting the potential management or the potential appraisal. And my submission is this, that is the in the talent management process, this is becoming the critical area, which as I mentioned that 3 figures were there. So, therefore, you can develop the employees development can be there by increasing their performance is there, and there are the rewards and delivery. So, everything moves with the carrot, and therefore, if you are having the strong the and healthy and the colorful and full of vitamins carrot, then definitely you will find that your talent that is performing very well. Now, here you will find that is the how you are able to work the workforce is to be managed. In the workforce which is to be managed, right. So, you have to use some organizations they have used the bench management practices. So, if the bench management practices is there, right. So, that will become that will not be the very much productive. However, if you find that is it is the suitable, so suitable is there, so you can make the alignment, right. You can measure the employee's performance, and you can align with the alignment you with the measurement and capacity, right. You can engage and you can get the employee committed employees. So, it will not come in a usual manner. The HR department has to put the efforts to create the talented people, talented manpower into a committed manpower, engagement power. Now, here also I would like to mention there is many times the leadership goes in a wrong direction, because when the people are talented and they do not perform, what is the reaction? Reaction is disciplinary action, that he is not performing, he is not delivering. So, throw him out from the organization. That is the normal maybe the practice, but the great workplace, good workplace, they do not do like this. They convert the diversion of the employee, talented employee towards the commitment, engagement, employee commitment, and how? By the learning and development. They make them to learn, they make them to develop, and accordingly you will find that is these talented people, they are getting the engaged and committed. Many times you will find that is the this what is required, and that requirement is flexible and adaptive, flexibility, HR flexibility basically I will talk about. So, there is a Glow Gift Society also, so that has been established under the guidance of Professor Sushil, and then from IIT Delhi Department of Management, and then you will find that is the flexibility, right. So, that flexibility, HR flexibility, I will focus more on the HR flexibility, because Mott has given the scale of managerial effectiveness, and he has also talked about the productivity, flexibility and adaptability. But that is about the performance, mechanical performance. Here I am talking about the HR flexibility and adaptability. If your manpower is flexible enough in a time of the crisis, they understand that they have to do, like the mothers in the house in the corona time, they are doing themselves each and every job. That is the adaptive, that is the flexibility, right. So, therefore, in that case that all household items are managed and clean, and the kitchen and all everything has been taken by the mother without the help of any servant if she was used to. So, therefore, adopting that particular system without much everybody will cry, but not much cry. Crying is natural, that much cry we have to bear, right, but that is the adaptable. So, therefore, in that case that the talent management people, talented people, what they do? They are flexible and adaptive. And the next feature is, that is they are productive. Output, like you see, the person when he is productive and talented, organization has tolerance for that particular employee. Why I am using the word tolerance? Because even though he is having certain personality characteristics which otherwise may not be acceptable, but when a talented employee who is running the capable of running the organization in the unfavorable situations, and then he is productive, he is giving the results. So, definitely organization will appreciate that particular employee. So, we will talk now the dimensions of the talent management, transformational dimensions of talent management, and one by one we will discussing all these dimensions. So, what are these transformational dimensions of talent management? So, you know that is the, it starts with the HR planning, here also talent management planning, then the recruitment of the talent, that is the talent management, then incentivizing, incentivizing means rewards, rewards are to be provided to these employees, then the development, that is the training and development of the employees, and then the evaluation, that is the performance evaluation is there. So, if you remember the functions of the HR manager, ASTD model, American Society for Training and Development, and in that model also we talk about the planning. Now, what do we do in the planning? In the planning we analyze and then the plan. So, you have to see, that is the KSA, here is you will find in the center, that is a positions profile, knowledge, skill and attitude. However, I have also included the H, that is the hobby or habit, right, that habit, professional habit, that is becoming very, very important. So, here it becomes very important, that is the, you are able to analyze your manpower, right, evaluation basically. Why evaluate? Otherwise, how will you decide where is the talent in the organization? So, that analysis and evaluation is very, very important, dear friends. Once you do, once you should be capable, you means HR department, organization. Organizations HR department should be capable to identify that how to evaluate the talent, how to examine the talent, how to identify that there are so many employees in the organization, thousands of employees are there who are the real assets for the organization. All are assets, but when I say the assets, it is something more than performance. So, all are performing, all are doing their jobs, they are sincere. So, they are human resource, that manpower is human resource, but you have seen, that is we are talking about from human resource to talent management. So, that analysis to identify, right, that where is the human capital. So, for that purpose what is required? Planning is required. You have to plan, and that planning about, it is not only the job description and job analysis and job specifications, but this is about making the potential appraisals, identifying the stars, identifying or evaluating their potential and develop them, train them, put them into the L&D, learning and development department. So, no, this is a common practice basically. If you are able to make the correlate with the in the schools and colleges, you will find that is you will analyze, you take the examination, and then you identify that who are the talented people, and when they join you, then you are developing them, you are having a professional course for them. During that professional course, including the job knowledge, that is the HR skills, their analytical skills, the concepts are strong and they are becoming creative or designing skills. So, therefore, in that case you develop them. How do you develop them? By incentivizing, motivating them. That is the, this is the these are the incentives which will be provided to you, and on the basis of those rewards, because talent will attracted towards the rewards. Rewards may be monetary, may be non-monetary. I am not saying that is the talent will be attracted to the monetary rewards. Talent may be attracted to the non-monetary rewards. Example is empowerment to take the decisions. So, they feel delighted, enlighten themselves, that is the such a high project is given to me. Management has assigned such a very important project to me, and that is also incentive, that is also the appreciation. Everybody looks at that employee, भाई इसमें कुछ दम है तभी तो इतना इम्पोर्टेंट और क्रिटिकल प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो इसको दिया गया है, ये इतनी कितनी क्रिटिकल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ओनली वन कैन हैंडल हु इज रियली टैलेंटेड, otherwise for an ordinary person it is very difficult. So, therefore, incentivizing is becoming very very important, and therefore, that is a development is there. In development process there is the advancement, because those incentivizing is coming through the development. Development means upgradation, upgradation means of knowledge, skills and attitudes, and therefore, you will find that is that advancement, that development, that is becoming the key success for the talented employee, because that reward everybody is not getting. Simple example is foreign trip or learning from the foreign trip, means not for the pleasure, for the learning process. He has been sponsored to go a particular machine making country and learn how to that machine works, come back and develop that type of machine in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, that is also the appreciation and recognition of the employees. So, you have to see that is all your analysis related to the planning, what you are planning that you are going to create that evaluation. On the basis of that evaluation you are recruiting the persons, those who are recruited they are getting the incentivized by the development process, and while they are developing advancement is there, you are providing them the reward, and that is the their outcome, right. But gaining the reward does not finish here, because ultimately this whole circle, please do not forget, that is what it is coming out in these dimensions. What is the achievement? Achievement is, there is the positions, responsible positions. Automatically it will come into the higher into the hierarchy, that is true, right. But it is not just a time being promotion, rather than this position is earned, achieved through the demonstration of talent. In a short period of time, big achievements, higher positions, and that will be come through these planning, recruiting, incentivizing, developing and evaluating. Second one is development of the profiles. How do you develop the profiles? If you are able to develop, now you see there are two CVs. How do you examine those CVs? And you have to call for a one person. How will you invite? And there should be the benchmarking practices. If you are able to go for by those benchmarking practices, parameters, what you say the parameters. For example, in the teaching when you talk about that is the subject knowledge, academic background, publications, the projects, the industry connect, the society outreach, right, how that CV is having, and then you find that this is the CV which is required to be considered, because your all points of the knowledge. In this case is knowledge, skills, attitude, social outreach, right, competency, academic qualifications. So, everything is matching. So, into that particular job description and job specifications, it is more than that from your expectations. Whenever you are having the higher the expectations, you will find that is that CV will be selected. So, it is so ultimately by these dimensions, that how to develop the dimensions we will see further, but by these dimensions you are able to create that output of the cases. These cases, what are those cases that I would like to explain, and then in that cases you will find that is it is becoming the technical knowledge, competency mapping. If you are having the higher the competency mapping, right, then you will be able to create that particular knowledge. So, it may be nowadays we are talking more about this computer technology, we are talking about more about the IT, we are more talking about more about the social media, right. We are more talking about that developing the skill jobs, skills profiles, skills profiles, rather than the semi skilled or the unskilled profiles. Everybody is looking for the skilled profile. So, that knowledge is required with that particular skills are there. As far as the attitude are concerned, so attitudes is required in the different dimensions. For example, like in the case of the evaluation, how do you evaluate, right. So, in the evaluation what is the most important is there, it is not the single person's working, rather than it is a group working. If the person is having the group working, then definitely he will be having the team building attitude. Now, we have to also understand in the team building attitude there are the forming, storming, norming, performing and adjourning. These are the steps in the conversion of the group into team. So, here how to convert that group into team? That storming phase, forming is by the organization, that is not in our hand. We do not select our boss, we do not select our colleagues, we do not select our subordinates. So, therefore, in that case that is a forming, and that forming to the storming. How do you have that storming? And that storming is done on the basis of their value systems. So, many people are working together, they storm each other with the value systems, and on basis of that storming you develop the norms. So, norms are there. So, forming, storming in norms, and when norms are developed there is a performing. So, that attitude is required. So, team building attitude is required, positive attitude is required, and we look forward, that is they are able to, the talent management people are able to manage their stress, they are able to lead in the unfavorable conditions, right. They are able to identify, evaluate, they are able to plan, they are able to recruit the right people, talented people, they are able to provide the right incentives. It should not be the mismatch of the incentives. So, naturally in that case you develop that particular talent. So, these are the different dimensions of the talent management. Each dimension we will take into the detail further, right. Thank you.